Through you, the chair.
I still got 1 minute on my computer. You ready to go?
We are live.
Okay, we're live. Let's call it to order. If we can have a roll call, please.
Welcome to the March 9th, 2026 council meeting. We'll begin with roll call of council. Mayor Clark,
The mayor will be joining us, but he is late coming back from a function in Alliston.
Deputy Mayor Bell,
Present.
Councillor Snetch,
Present.
Councillor Fisher,
Present.
Councillor Tuyu,
Present.
Councillor Goff,
Present.
Councillor Bell.
Present.
Thank you. We have quorum.
Perfect. We're going to run the live
This meeting
stream.
is being streamed live on the Township of Ramara YouTube channel. Be advised that by attending a public meeting of the Council of the Township of Ramara, you are consenting to your image, voice, and comments being recorded and will form a part of the public record. The chair, CAO, and/or clerk have the discretion and authority to terminate or interrupt the live streaming in exceptional circumstances where the content of debate is considered inappropriate to be published. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome to Monday, March 9th, 2026 council meeting. We'll start with 1.2, apology pursuant to 4.3G and 4.4I of the procedural bylaw 2025.23. Somebody put that on the floor, please. Councillor Tuyu, seconded by Councillor Fisher. Councillor Bell?
Good morning. I regret that when I attempted to exercise my duties under the Municipal Act to represent my constituents and speak fully to the bylaw before us on February 23rd, 26, including legitimate concerns and broader funding and equity concerns, my commitment to good governance was misunderstood, leading to my abrupt and wrongful removal from the meeting while I was steadfastly executing those duties with dignity and integrity.
Great, thank you very much. And I'll call that to a vote, please. All in favor of accepting that apology? Oh, sorry, my bad.
Through the chair, I'll just read out the motion. So this is to be determined without debate. That council consents to the return of Councillor Bell to her seat at the March 9th, 2026 council meeting following her public apology for the disorderly conduct at the February 23rd, 2026 council meeting in accordance with sections 4.3G and 4.4I of the Township's procedure bylaw.
My apologies. Somebody put that on the floor for me, please. Councillor Fisher, Councillor Tuyu, second that as well. All right, call that to vote. All in favor? 1. Opposed? That is defeated. Okay, thank you very much. Moving on to 2.1, approval of the agenda. Agenda dated March 9th, 2026. Recommendation that the council agenda dated March 9th, 2026 be adopted as presented. Someone put that on the floor. Councillor Goff, seconded by Councillor Fisher. All in favor? That's carried. All right, disclosure of pecuniary interest. Not seeing any. If you see yourself in that position, please let me know immediately. Announcements. I have some announcements I'm going to start with, and then I'll pass it on to council members. It Starts campaign starts today. We did the flag raising at 11:30. This is an initiative started by County of Simcoe to basically look at discrimination and try to create more of an inclusive environment and cultural communities. This started in 2017, so this is our 10th year. So that. Yesterday was International Women's Day, so today we have some flowers out for all the ladies and appreciate all their efforts and their professionalism. Seasonal half load restrictions, just reminding everybody that that is on now, effective today. Spring conditions, we have the rain and the snow melting, so be prepared for that. As everybody knows, last year we did approve sandbags, but that was only because we were in the middle of the ice storm and we didn't want to add and multiply the issues, so we did approve that. It has been directed by council previously that we do not provide those, so I want people to be prepared to give them time to get that in place. For any tips, they can go to let me see, ramara.ca /emergency management. And there's lots of tips there. The next one, I went to the Winter Games last weekend. Great success, great turnout. Kids did well. Just love seeing that come around, seeing so many Ramara kids being involved in that and volunteers from Ramara being involved in that. It was really great to see. And I think that was it for me. So I'll pass that on. So Councillor Tuyu.
Thanks.
On March 5th, Councillor Fisher and I attended the Lake Dalrymple information session hosted by the Couchiching Conservancy, where we learned so much about the very rare types of biodiversity supported by the equally rare shoreline alvar landform habitat that the Conservancy is on track to acquire. Learning more about this incredible 430-acre property was especially meaningful as it is directly north of an almost 600-acre parcel of sensitive wetlands to be donated to the Conservancy, which together would ensure conservation protection for over 1,000 shoreline acres of significant wildlife habitat forever. And on Saturday, I was happy to let the good people of Ramona Hall Agricultural Society do the cooking and enjoyed some fish and chips with the North Ramara community and our CAO in a totally packed hall. And yesterday, I enjoyed afternoon tea at St. Andrew's Church in Orillia, hosted by the Canadian Federation of University Women to celebrate International Women's Day. As part of the discussion, we learned about Harriet Todd and the influence she has had as a local progressive voice. Interestingly, she was the first woman to hold public office in this region in 1919. I'm so grateful for those before us who worked so hard so that we could continue that work to advocate for others. Thanks.
Thank you. This is more of an announcement, an exciting announcement. Tomorrow, we're having another slow cooker club class. I almost called it crock pot, but I don't think we can call it crock pot. Slow cooker class, and it's actually full. The registration's full. There wasn't much interest, although there seemed to be an interest for evening classes. So the evening class for tomorrow has been canceled because there wasn't any interest or uptake for it. However, moving forward for the subsequent months, there are afternoon and evening classes available. And I think tomorrow is carrot ginger soup. So and that's tomorrow at 1:30.
Great, thank you. Councillor Satch, did you have your hand up? No? Okay, there was just actually a couple more things. At Joyland Beach, they did have a hypnotist comedian on the weekend. I did attend that. They tried to hypnotize me, but for some reason it didn't work. I think it's because my mind was racing still. So there was that, but I just wanted to mention that. From that, we'll get started on this. Oh, I think when is Fish Huts got to be off? I should check with you. March 15th. So that's next week. So that's a reminder for everybody as well. So make sure that you get your ice hats off. We don't want any rescues out there this year. Okay. I'm not seeing any presentations, public and special meeting of council, deputations, public forum. We have 2 that have signed up. So I guess first we have Michael O'Brien. If you want to come up.
Morning, Deputy Mayor and councillors. I'm surprised there's not a bigger crowd here today, given the topic. First things first, it does seem that a total cost of $24 million to service 353 properties is ridiculous. And it's for a solution that's not part of something larger, like if we had a pipeline that could at least help service other properties in the future. But at this stage, I don't really think there is an alternatives. So I see a couple of mistakes in the past. Obviously, we should have raised the rates a long time ago, but everyone complains about that. So it's natural. I just hope that we continue the course going forward, that we don't try to keep the rates too low. We have to pay for things. Obviously, we should have chosen a solution years ago in retrospect, but I think a lot of that I would characterize as almost an addiction to other people's money. We're on a treadmill where we keep wanting the province or someone to come in and pay for things. And perhaps in the end, we would have saved money if we had just paid for it ourselves years ago instead of waiting all these years. Fortunately, they have stepped forward, so we're in a better position right now. But maybe that's a lesson for going forward, that we might have to pay our own way and not wait for others. But I do have a concern about the numbers coming from Tatham. Would we have considered other alternatives in the past, or were all the alternatives priced too low? They had quite detailed estimates for the Lone Birch area, like line by line items for 5 pages that I saw. And we don't have that sort of detail for a much larger project. And if we did, then perhaps Tatham could have explained, which items had been added, which items just because of the cost of inflation, construction inflation, not regular inflation, are too large. Final point, I guess, is that I don't believe in conspiracies. I see a lot of people out there talking about things, but if you look at the website, over 40 people downloaded the tender, 6 people bid on it. The price is the price. There's a question of, do people trust it? But, it is a fair price for what we're getting. I think we do need to be transparent going forward. We don't want a situation like Collingwood, which had a budget for their sewer works go from 60 million to 120 million to, I think, 270 or something ridiculous in the course of a few years. So just be aware that going forward, we want to, I'm sure it's blatantly obvious, everybody's going to keep a good eye on these things.
We just got to stop. Probably
It's gotta
Michael. Yeah,
stop,
it's
so.
1 minute, but yeah, I let you go a little bit.
Thank
It was
you.
very important. Thank you
Yeah.
very much for that. Second one is Rick Matthews. Rick? You sure? Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll get down to the minutes. Recommendation that the minutes of the following meetings be adopted as presented. Council meeting minutes dated February 23rd, 2026. Council meeting closed session minutes dated February 23rd, 2026. Somebody put that on the floor for me, please. Councillor Snutch, seconded by Councillor Goff. Any questions, discussion? All in favor? That is carried. Moving down. Motion to recess and convene into committee of the whole, that council recess and convene into committee of the whole at 12:10 PM. Someone put that on the floor, please. Councillor Goff, second by Councillor Tuyu. All in favor? That's carried. Motion to move committee of the whole to closed session that pursuant to section 239(4) of the Municipal Act 2001 SO 2001 C25. Notice is hereby given that the committee, am I supposed to be doing this as the clerk? Sorry, am I taking somebody's job? I apologize.
Through the
Rebecca.
chair, if you'd like, I can read it.
Yes,
If not,
please. Yeah,
you're
go
doing
ahead.
a great job. So.
No, go ahead. I apologize.
That pursuant to section 239(4) of the Municipal Act 2001, SO 2001, Chapter 25, notice is hereby given that the Committee of the Whole intends to hold a closed session meeting in the Richard P. Bates Boardroom at 12:11 PM to deal with items 10.2.1, 10.2.2, and 10.2.3 as set out on the agenda, being matters pursuant to sections 239(2)C, a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board, E, litigation or potential litigation, and F, advice subject to solicitor-client privilege of the said act.
Okay, so put that on the floor for me, please. Councillor Goff, seconded by Councillor Fisher. All in favor? Okay, folks, we're going to go to the back room and excuse ourselves. We're going to do the closed session matter and then we'll come back.
Hi there, Counselor Snudge.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, good. We're just having an issue with the breakout room. Colton just sent you a new Zoom link. So if you could join that for the breakout room and then join back into this meeting once we wrap up in closed session. Does that all make sense?
Yeah. Yes, I can. How about you? Hello? No? Okay, good, thank you.
There we go. I don't have Counselor Snutch yet. We're just waiting. Okay, we have Counselor Snutch now. I'll get my clerk to confirm that we still have a quorum, and
Yes, I can confirm we still have a quorum.
thank you. And I apologize for everybody for being late. I want to thank the deputy mayor for opening the meeting so that we could start on time. So I already had the motion to rise from in camera, I believe. So now I just need the motions from in camera session. Or do they come later at the?
Nope, through the chair, we're just getting the first one up on the screen, so I can read that here. That report CD 1026 regarding the proposed stop-up closure and sale of portions of the unopened road allowance adjacent to 4442 Plum Point Road and 4438 and 4432 Plum Point Road be received, and that the confidential direction provided to staff be adopted, and that pending the outcome of the confidential direction, the lands be deemed surplus to the needs of the municipality, and staff be directed to proceed with the statutory process for stopping up, closing, and selling the lands, including scheduling a public meeting as set out in the township sale of surplus land policy. And that report CD 1026 be forwarded to the March 9th, 2026 council agenda for same day ratification.
I have a move by Counselor Goff, second by Counselor Fisher. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. I guess 10.2. 22.
Through the chair, we're just getting that up on the screen. Okay, thank you for your patience. We have that on the screen now. So that report CD 0826, legal opinion regarding the road assumption status of Sunset Drive be received, and that the confidential direction to staff be adopted, and that report CD 0826 be referred to the March 9th, 2026 council agenda for same day ratification.
Okay, can I have moved by Counselor Tuyu, second by the deputy mayor? All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. And lastly, was the updates.
Through the chair, I understand there may be a conflict declared for this one.
There is. I will declare that now.
All right, thank you.
Sorry. Yep. These are the individuals named, our friends, and as well, they're we do quite a bit of business with them on an annual basis.
That report CD 0926 regarding new and active litigation files and strategy update be received as information, and that report CD 0926 be referred to the March 9th, 2026 council agenda for same day ratification.
Okay, moved by Counselor Fisher, second by Counselor Snutch. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. And I think that was the last of the in cameras. Council reports, I have none. Board and committee reports, none. Council referral reports, none. But I do have the departmental reports, and the first one is the road renaming phase 2. Do you want the motion on the floor, or can we have a discussion around it first?
Through the chair, it's up to you, to what you prefer. If you'd like to discuss, if there are going to be changes, though, I would suggest putting the motion on the floor and then bringing forward any changes as amendments.
All right, then let's get it on the floor then, if that's okay. You're in favor of putting it on the floor. Counselor Goff, seconded by the deputy mayor. So we'll get the motion on the floor and then we'll look for any amendments.
Through the chair, the motion is as follows. That report ID 0126 regarding road name review phase 2 be received, and that the following roads previously identified at committee of the whole on May 8th, 2023 be renamed as recommended. Concession Road A from Side Road 5 to the west end be renamed McQuaig Lane. Concession Road BC from Ramah Dalton Boundary Road to the west end be renamed Deerfield Road. Concession Road DE from Ramah Dalton Boundary Road to the west end be renamed Silver Springs Road. Side Road 5 from County Road 46 to Mundy's Lane be renamed Forest Haven Road. Side Road 5 from County Road 46 to Concession Road 10 be renamed Mill Creek Road. Side Road 56 from Concession Road BC to Concession Road DE be renamed Rockbrook Road. And Side Road 25 from Muley Point Road to Bonnie Beach Road be renamed Cattle Run Road.
Okay, do I have amendments? Counselor Fisher.
Thank you. I would like to create amendment for Side Road 56 from Concession Road BC to Concession Road DE. I would like that to be considered for Heaven's Gate Road. When the residents learned of the name change, it's near and dear to the people who live on that road's name, on that road to have influence on the name. When they did submit the name, there was a conflict with their road naming policy. So they were able to get in touch with staff and put forward the suggestion of Heaven's Gate Road, and staff has been working with them to determine that it fit with our policy and road naming policy and things like that. So.
Seconder, you're seconded by Counselor Goff. Any other questions? Apparently they didn't like the idea of a rock when you live near quarries. They
No,
didn't want rock in the name.
and our staff did say, because one of the other suggestions was no heavy trucks road, but they didn't like that.
Yeah. On that amendment, any concerns to staff? I think you did the due diligence to make sure there wasn't a conflict with neighboring roads.
Through you, I'll let Ms. Stong speak to that.
There, Jen, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Yes, we've done a high level for Heaven's Gate and made sure that there's no conflicts. And we're just waiting to hear from one other municipality that there's no conflict. We've checked the area. It's just more to make sure that they don't have a subdivision that has that road named in there and it just hasn't been built yet. But it looks like it will be okay.
Perfect. Okay, so on the amendment, do you have an amendment to read, Madam Clerk, or was that one sufficient?
Through the chair, I do have an amendment, so we'll just need a mover and a seconder for it.
Moved by Counselor Fisher, second by Counselor Goff. Yeah, we're gonna get it on the screen here.
We'll just put that on the screen here. And that the motion before Committee of the Whole be amended as follows: replace the road name recommendation of Rockbrook Road with Heaven's Gate Road for Side Road 56 from Concession Road BC to Concession Road DE.
Everybody fine with the amendment? All in favor? That is carried. So now, as the original motion as amended, any other questions or comments? I will look for the vote. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. So now I have 11-5-2. This is a tender, I believe.
Yes, through the chair, we're just getting the motion put on the screen. So the motion before committee is that report AD 0526 regarding the procurement of consulting services for the signage and wayfinding strategy be received, and that council award the signage and wayfinding strategy consulting services to Semsky Kelly Associates, plural, in the amount of $34,989.91, including HST, and that staff be authorized to execute the agreement. And that report AD 0526 be referred to the March 9th, 2026 council agenda for same day ratification.
Can I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Counselor Fisher, second by Counselor Goff. Any questions? This is just one. We didn't get the right amount of tenders. Counselor Snutch, go ahead. Oh, there you go.
There we go. Yeah, I know we've approved this at some time in the past, but do you really, is there a way that we could defer this? I just don't know what we get out of this that's worth $35,000.
Maybe I'll look to the CAO for an opinion on that, or Melissa, go ahead.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Mayor. So this was in the strategic plan as something, as well as in your economic development strategy. And again, was recommended within the updated economic development engagement we just did with Georgian College. This would bring our updated branding and have that strategy of where we can put wayfinding and information signage throughout the township.
I believe it wouldn't be in front of us had we had enough tenders. Correct, CAO. It's just because we didn't have three actual prices, then council has to, that's our tender process, and council has to approve it, or else it would have just went ahead. So oh, you're muted, Dave. I can't hear you. Go ahead.
I'm just wondering if we really need to do this. I don't know advantages we're going to get out of this. Just as I rethink it, maybe we should have thought of it earlier, but I just don't see how it's going to significantly change anything.
I hear you. It's a decision that we made. I'm willing to stand by it at this point and see what comes. But again, now you're right. It's the time we're putting the tender out. So if you are opposed, certainly vote that way. Any other comments? So not seeing any, so I will call the question. All in favor? And all opposed?
I'm in favor. I just wanted to bring it up for discussion.
Okay, perfect. All right, that is carried. Thank you. And next I have, I think the reason why most people are here, I have 11.5.3. And maybe before I get the item on the floor, I want to clear up some general misunderstanding that seems to be out in the public right now. So before we get the report, I want to take a moment to clarify a few points that's been circulating. First, this project was an upgrade to an existing municipal system. This is not a new system. This is a repair, and that's why the costs are shared by all the users, because all repairs are shared by the common user. That's quite a bit different to when a new project comes along, where you're bringing new sewers like the Village of Brecken or the one we just did down on Maple Trail and Lone Birch. That is a new system. And whenever you're a new system joining in, you have to pay the full cost of actually joining into an existing sewage system. But now any repairs on those systems, once it's joined, would also be covered by all of the sewer and water users. And the Maple Trail, Lone Birch, Ridge Avenue, Simcoe Road servicing project sewer was already underway at the time that the grants were available, because the question's been, why were they not included in the grants? The grants were very specific, and there are no grants for new people joining sewer and water. Again, those costs must be covered by the homeowner as you're joining into a system. This grant was specific for repairs to aging infrastructure and health and safety. And staff, of course, we've given them permission to apply for all of these grants whenever they come available and make that decision and fill out the grant process, because many of them are time sensitive. And we don't want to be in a situation where, oh, shucks, by the time we got it to council and got council approved, we missed a grant opportunity. We understand how important these grants are to the municipality, especially one of our size. We have the confidence in our staff that they make these applications, make them properly. And in this case, we were successful for the largest grant this municipality's ever received. And I want to thank staff for the due diligence on that and making sure the application was as highly ranked as it was. The only last one I had a councillor complain that she was removed because she was discussing this topic. That is not why I removed the last councillor from the council meeting. Whenever the councillor will not respect the rules or the chair, any one of you would be removed if you're not respecting the chair, which is why the councillor removed. It had nothing to do with the item that she was speaking on. It was a matter that she was conducting herself. So I just wanted to clarify all those facts, because I've read other than that online, and it's very confusing to the ratepayers when they hear this misinformation. Laura, anything you want to add to the project?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, this is obviously a very important project, and I am aware that the cost is higher than we anticipated. And I can speak to that. Generally speaking, when we go through the EA process, and if council remembers, this EA started in 2010. It was completed in 2025. That's a 15-year EA process. That's extensive. The EA process includes community consultation, review with regulators, and a whole bunch of other pieces that go into it. Out of that process came that the tile bed project was the preferred solution, and it was a conceptual design that was estimated to cost at $7 million. We don't know what we don't know until we go through that process. And as council gave direction to go through that EA process, or through the detailed design process, that's where it's identified things like we were able to complete the geotechnical, where it was recognized now that we actually need some shoring on the side of the lagoon to support the road that's going to be beside it, as well as the pump house, and get into the exact calculations for what is needed for this system, which came to a conclusion of 11 tile beds. So that did change the size and the configuration as we move through all of those processes. So the as we get to more detailed information, those cost estimates can be more finely defined, and that's where we escalate. At the end of the day, we don't know until we put it out for tender. As we were closing, this closed on March 2nd, one of the things that was identified, this project has a significant cost associated with trucking in sand material to support the bed for drainage and for the end result of the effluent. The US-Iran conflict began there, where the fuel prices had been identified and flagged as being potential to be on the rise. If we have a project that relies heavily on trucking, and the other component is also on plastics, which are petroleum-based. So again, that same product, the cost escalated again. That is difficult for us to predict that. We did get 5 bids that were relatively close to each other, which gives us the confidence that unfortunately this is the price, but we know that we're getting the best value. If council approves the award to Duven Vorden Haulage, that they gave the best price available for us to complete this work. Through the EA process, again, this is that the spray fields have reached their end of life and we need a replacement. Do nothing is really not a viable option in this case. And I can say that as staff and the project management team, we're well aware of the cost that's associated in that goes back to the end users. And we will be very cautious moving forward and diligent with those funds, as we always are with all of the projects, to make sure that they're appropriately spent. Thank you.
Okay, maybe I'll get the motion on the floor now, and then I'll open it up to council.
Through the chair, we're just
The motion is on the floor.
we will need a mover and a seconder, chair. So I'll read that and then we can proceed with that.
All right.
That report ID 1126, treatment plant 202 tile bed project tender award dated March 2nd, 2026 be received, and that the contract be awarded to Duven Vorden Haulage Limited for the amount of $20,969,372.35 plus HST for the completion of the tile bed project, capital project 20-0080-2423-70017. And that Tatham Engineering provide construction administration and inspection in the amount of $990,400 plus HST. And that a project contingency of $1,800,000 for unforeseen and additional costs be established. And that $24,146,270 be allocated to this capital project through 2027. And that staff be directed to borrow $16,650,000 to fund the project through completion. And that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute the contract agreement on behalf of the township. And that report ID 1126 be referred to the March 9th, 2026 council agenda for same day ratification.
Okay, moved by the deputy mayor, second by Councillor Goff. Any questions? I'll start with the deputy mayor first.
I think similar to one of our residents made an open statement at the very beginning, and I think you weren't here, your worship, but we did talk, he did mention a little bit about the Collingwood project. It was in a similar situation. It was a $60 to $70 million project. It went up to 140 million. It's now gone exceeding 270 million. This is not just our township, it's every municipality. These costs are just going through the roof. It is something the province is looking at. I think everybody in all the municipalities are trying to deal with these adjustments. I think there is some responsibility by our engineering company to kind of dig into this a little bit more and have more accurate numbers, but they can't also determine, trade wars and things like that are happening in our world right now.
Well, that was my concern around whether we get a report from the engineers, and I think it could be done separate of this motion. I don't want to cloud this motion up any more complicated than it is, because they are the ones that gave us a quote price, and I would certainly like to hear from them on why, because this is more than one project that has come in, including the water tower that we hit last year from 250,000 to 800,000. Again, that is the way of the world, but I would like to hear from them. Go ahead, C.L. Jackson.
Through you, your worship, absolutely. The GM and myself have had that conversation, and we'll be reaching out to seniors within Tatham to have a sort of more thorough response in terms of their estimation and where the bid pricing came in. So we'll be happy to share that with council once we get further information.
Perfect, because we do rely on that information. When we're trying to budget, you want as accurate as information as you can get. And I remember years ago being upset when they were 20% high. I mean, I'd rather be on the high end of the quote, but still you want accurate numbers when you're trying to project forward on budgets. And again, through the General Manager Pai, we will start construction this spring as soon as the half loads are off, I would assume, and we won't be hauling anymore. The idea was to bring one cell online this summer, was it not?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. So the plan is that, and that's partly why this is being brought forward for ratification today, is so that we can start moving through the process to get this underway. We are aware that the half load seasons have started today. We will begin as soon as possible, and we will be waiving those half loads if needed, depending on the timing of movement. We also, if council remembers, we deferred the decision to rehab Concession Road 7 as well as Muley Point Road explicitly for this project. So those roadworks will be completed after the fact because we understand that timing is everything. The intent of this is to get 6 of the cells operational by the fall of this year, which means that we're hopeful that we do not need to haul. We will be making that decision likely in September, October. We're going to monitor what our lagoon levels look like. We are in a different state in 2026 than we were in 2025. At the end of the season in 2025, our lagoons were low, which we did not have in September the year prior. So yes, we've still had significant snowpack, but we started at a lower level. So we're hopeful that we can manage that. We are going to continue to spray similar to what we did last year in the South Fields. And again, we'll only make that decision to haul if absolutely necessary. So that's the plan moving forward. We are still waiting for some pieces. We're very grateful for the $30 million grant from the province, and we need some of the paperwork to be initiated along those lines before we can start site construction as well. So we're working with our partners at the Ministry of Infrastructure to get that to happen.
So spraying this year while this construction is happening, next year when this cell's online, I take it the spraying would discontinue while we constructed the other cell, correct?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, yes, that's correct. We're aiming that this spraying, once we have this tile bed, the portion of them in service, that we'll be able to operate and not need to spray next year. However, that option is still available to us until all of the beds have been completed and the project is done.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Looking around the room, I am not seeing any. So yeah, CEO Jackson.
If I can, Your Worship, I just want to provide a little clarification in terms of the motion that you had before you. There was a reference to the potential of a loan of in and around $16 million. That is put in the motion, Your Worship, to make sure that we have the authority if required. And so at this point in time, working through all of the other loans that the municipality have, and also just making sure from a cash flow perspective, we don't want to leave ourselves short. So this gives us the authorization to proceed with that if necessary. I will commit to providing a CIP to council if in fact we need to exercise this loan requirement. We will also be working with IO as well, infrastructure, to see if there's an ability to expedite some of the grant funding in advance. So that's just an explanation for you, members of council and the public, why that line is in the motion, but we will commit to a CIP if in fact we need to exercise.
Perfect. Any other questions on the short-term burn? Councillor to you.
Sorry, I also would like to just clarify for the residents that this loan then that would be paid for by wastewater users, not all taxpayers, correct?
It would go to the cost of the project, would it not?
Through you, Your Worship, all of this is covered by the users of the system.
I guess the only outstanding balance so far that we haven't dealt with was the actual purchase price of the land, and that's something that council will have to deal with in the future, whether it's included in this project or whether the land is severed, because, you know, it was a large parcel of land that was purchased, but that's a discussion for a different day. So with that, I'm not seeing any further questions. All in favor? Opposed? That was unanimous. Thank you. So next I have, I know I had a very relieved MPP Cajun this morning, who used to be the Minister of Environment. When we were dealing with this file for some time, she was very pleased to see that we're finally going ahead with this project. So now I have motions from Committee of the Whole. No, sorry, the motion to reconvene.
Yes,
council.
through the chair, we'll just get that put on the screen. So the motion before committee is that the recommendations of Committee of the Whole be referred to the next regular meeting of council to be held on March 23rd, 2026, with the exception of the following items, which shall be referred to consent agenda B today. Motions arising from closed session item 11.1.1, proposed stop up closure and sale of portions of the unopened road allowance to be conveyed to 4442 Plum Point Road and 4438 and 4432 Plum Point Road. Motions arising from closed session item 11.1.2, legal opinion regarding the road assumption status of Sunset Drive. Motions arising from closed session item 11.1.3, new and active litigation file and strategy update. Departmental reports item 11.5.2, signage and wayfinding strategy services award, goods and services procurement bylaw. Departmental reports item 11.5.3, award of treatment plant 202 tile bed project. And that Committee of the Whole rise and council be reconvened at 1:53 p.m.
Okay, can I have a mover and a second? Moved by Counselor Goff, second by Counselor Fisher. The sewer project again will be ratified today because it is time sensitive. And I guess when we do the motions, we can have a separate one on the conflict for the deputy mayor when that time comes. No, it's not now. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. How's everybody doing as far as a break wise? All right, we'll take a 10-minute break, be back at, let's say, how about 1:50? Take 20, yeah, 1:15. Oh, sorry, 2:15. Yeah.
Through the chair, just need
Yes.
a mover and a seconder.
Moved by Counselor Goff, second by Counselor Fisher. All in favor? That is carried. So 2:15, we'll be back and should be able to wrap up pretty quickly. I believe it is time. Colton, are we ready? I'll look to my clerk for a roll call.
I can confirm you have quorum.
Thank you very much. And we'll go on to our consent agenda reports from the previous meeting. And I know some have been separated out due to conflicts. So go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Through the chair, we're just getting this motion on the screen. So we had 5 reports from the previous meeting. I am aware that there may be one that has a conflict of interest, so I've separated that out. But if there are any others that you would like pulled for a separate vote, please let me know. The motion as drafted is that recommendations as set out on consent agenda A, reports from the February 23rd, 2026 Committee of the Whole meeting be adopted as presented, including the following items. 12.1.1 Economic Development and Community Improvement Plan, Community Engagement Findings and Recommended Actions. 12.1.2 Community Engagement Results for Municipal Buildings. 12.1.3 Municipal Support Resolution Request Protocol Renewable Energy Projects. 12.1.4 Official Plan 2025 County of Simcoe Approval. And with the exception of the following item, which shall be voted on individually, 12.1.5 Proposed Kingfisher North Quarry Extension, Class A below water pit and quarry.
So not voting on the quarry one, we are voting on the other ones. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Goff, second by Councillor Tuyu. Any questions on the previous agenda? Good discussion. All in favor? Oh, hang on. Yes.
Through the chair, if there is a conflict on 12.1.5, it just hasn't been declared at this point. So that was just my understanding, but.
Well, it's pulled though, 12.1.5.
I had included because I understood there may be a conflict, but it would still need to be declared.
But yes, it is somebody who I do reciprocating business with on an ongoing basis.
Yeah, so that's why the declaration on the 12.15. So on the others, all in favor? That is carried. Thank you. And now I'll have the motion on that particular one. Thank you. There's 2 more. Just that's fine.
So through the chair, this is the motion for 12.1.5. That report ID 1026 regarding the application by NRK Holdings Inc. for a license under the Aggregate Resources Act for the proposed Kingfisher North Quarry Extension, a Class A below water table pit and quarry located at part lots 2, 3, and 4 concession C and part lots 3, 4, and 5 concession D in the Township of Ramara be received. And that council's comments to NRK Holdings Inc. include that the proposed ARA license is premature as the required official plan amendment and zoning bylaw amendment applications remain under technical review, and the current rural designations do not permit aggregate extraction. And that council's comments further include the township's requirements related to buffers, berm setbacks, fencing, groundwater protection, private well monitoring, noise, dust, blasting mitigation, haul route management, and emergency access outlined in the staff report. And that the following additional comments from council be incorporated: a northbound merging ramp on County Road 169, a southbound passing lane on County Road 169 to decrease the impacts of south turning trucks, a northbound right turn lane on County Road 169 for trucks exiting at Concession Road BC, any other additional road improvements which will make it easier for trucks exiting Concession Road BC to merge with southbound traffic, implementing monitoring camera systems. And that staff be authorized to submit the council endorsed comments to NRK Holdings Inc. and to the Ministry of Natural Resources prior to the March 19th, 2026 deadline.
Okay, can I have a mover first? I'll get it on the floor. Moved by Councillor Fisher, second by Councillor Tuyu. Comment, Councillor Fisher.
Thank you. I just want to reconsider some of the comments that will be incorporated. One of the comments specifically, the northbound right turn lane on County Road 169 for trucks exiting at Concession Road BC. That already exists. I drive that road every day. Like that's how I get to my house. So that there is a quite a long turn lane to turn on there. I just don't want to include that where it already exists to kind of show that we didn't really do our due diligence and homeworks and we're asking for things that actually are already in place.
Just looking over at the general manager Pye and then Councillor Snutch.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. So I just want to clarify the right-hand turning lane. There is a
paved shoulder,
widened shoulder on County Road 169 that does allow for slow merging.
Yeah, so coming off of B&C to go north, there is a widened paved shoulder, but this is from 169 on to B&C. is a turning lane.
Correct. That
Yes.
is correct.
So
That
that's
lane-
the one, merging, passing, all that, we can leave in there. The one that I'm concerned is the already existing right turn lane that we're asking to be there is actually already there. I just don't want it to come back to say, okay, but this is already here. Have you not done your homework to see that this is already here?
I'm trying to see which one it is because I'm seeing a northbound right turn lane on County Road 169 for trucks exiting B and C. So that would be the acceleration lane, correct? Is what you would call it. And that does not exist. Yeah, but
Sorry, on 169.
okay.
On 169, there's already a right turn lane to exit onto B and C.
So should, Dave, go ahead, Counselor Snotch, you're muted, and then we'll look at maybe whether we remove that.
We could do is just say they would be brought up to standards, because there was a lot of snow on there when I was looking. And, but I don't think they're standard lengths. I think they're just using the shoulder.
No. It's
I'll go to Laura here, General Manager.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, there is a dedicated right-hand turn lane heading northbound on 169 to turn right onto Concession Road B and C. There is a lane there.
All right, so we should remove that one then from the list of requests
If that's council's direction, yeah.
Counselor Goff.
They also have a southbound turning lane. So why is that in there? Like, I just don't understand why we're asking for stuff that's already there. And I know Councillor Snutch has said he doesn't know whether it's up to standards. Obviously, the county designed the road
So
to
through
standards.
you, Mr. Mayor, if you're on 169 and looking to turn to B and C, there is a right-hand turn lane from the northbound. There's also a left-hand turn lane from southbound traffic. There is additional wide shoulders on both sides, going north from B and C and going south from B and C, as well as the lane is tapered to allow traffic that go around on the southbound side around that left-hand turn lane. So those are all in existence. And again, it is a county road as well. So all of that would have been constructed as appropriate based on the previous applications or as counties road designers would have required. It is still, if it's council's direction, we can consider that they are adequate for the additional traffic at this point, if that would be what council would like.
Well, that would be what their study would look at, would it not? So we would highlight it and they would do their studies to justify it, correct?
Correct, yes.
That's what I'm getting a nod from Councillor Snutch in agreement. Any other comments, Councillor Tuyu?
Thanks. Through you, Mr. Mayor, to GM Pie. Yeah, this all seems sort of redundant. It's already here. And as you had indicated, we do have those wider paved shoulders, but I'm just wondering, would it be worth considering making those dotted lines rather than solids? So it could be, I guess, more easily viewed as an acceleration lane?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, that would need to be done by the traffic engineers and determined. And again, it is a county road, not the township's road, so we can't make that decision. But again, it should be something that is considered as part of the traffic studies.
So as long as it's in this motion, it's considered part of the traffic study, they will respond accordingly. They would have to measure the acceleration lane to make sure it's long enough. They would have to do a proper study. So I see no harm in leaving it in there.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I agree.
All right. Any other questions or comments? So I don't have an amendment yet. Councillor Fisher.
So are we taking out then the northbound right turn lane
No.
because it already exists?
No, we're going to leave it in and their traffic study can comment on it. They can look at, say, yes, it is of adequate length or not. So we were going to leave it in and then let them do their studies. Okay, all in favor? Opposed, if any? I have one opposed. Thank you. That is carried. I will get the deputy mayor back because we'll do the next one and we'll pull that one in camera when it comes time. Come on back, Keith. I think it's down on the list a little farther. So now we are on to consent agenda reports from the current meeting. Figured you'd want to be here for the sewer project.
Through the chair, we're just getting this motion up on the screen. So as with consent agenda A, we have 5 reports that were put forward for same day ratification at today's meeting. One of those, I am aware that there was a conflict declared upon, which was the third motion arising from closed session. So I've separated that one out. But if there are any other items that members of council would like a separate vote or discussion on or a recorded vote, please let me know and we can move that out as well. I'll read what is currently drafted. That recommendations as set out on consent agenda B, reports from the current meeting for the regular meeting of council held on March 9th, 2026 be adopted as presented, including the following items. Item 13.1.1, proposed stop-up closure and sale of portions of the unopened road allowance to be conveyed to 4442 Plum Point Road and 4438 and 4432 Plum Point Road. Item 13.1.2, legal opinion regarding the road assumption status of Sunset Drive. Item 13.1.4, signage and wayfinding strategy services award, goods and services procurement bylaw. Item 13.1.5, award of treatment plant 202 tile bed project. And with the exception of the following items, which shall be voted on individually. Item 13.1.3, new and active litigation file and strategy update.
Okay, can I have a mover, please? Moved by the deputy mayor, second by Councillor Tuyu. Questions or comments? I think we're there. All in favor? Opposed of any, that is carried. And now I have the one that you have the conflict on again, sir.
Through the chair, the motion for item 13.1.3 is as follows. That report CD 0926 regarding new and active litigation files and strategy update be received as information, and that report CD 0926 be referred to the March 9th, 2026 council agenda for same day ratification.
Perfect. Moved by Councillor Goff, second by Councillor Fisher. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. So that is consent agenda C. So now we are on correspondence for council direction. And I have the one 15.1, which is, I believe, our Rooted in Ramara committee. Some recent retirees.
If you'll just give us one moment here, through the chair, we're
Perfect.
just updating the motion.
We have to dig this one up, pardon the pun.
Okay, thank you for your patience. The motion before council is as follows. The memorandum from the assistant clerk regarding the resignation of Janet Banfield from the Rooted in Ramara committee be received, and that council amend the terms of reference for the Rooted in Ramara committee to reduce the required membership from 9 members to 3 members in order to restore quorum and allow the committee to continue meeting and fulfilling its mandate during the ongoing boards and committees governance review. And that nominations for Rooted in Ramara committee membership be open for 1 additional member for a 1-week period to maintain quorum.
Okay, can I have a move to Deputy Mayor, second by Councillor Fisher? I'd like to thank the individual, Janet Banfield, for her volunteering time and all the years that she's dedicated to this township. So thank you for your service, as they say. Councillor Goff.
I've been asked to ask why her letter of resignation wasn't on the agenda, so that can be made public.
Go ahead.
Through the chair, so our practice for receiving resignations from boards and committees members has not been to place correspondence on the council agenda. It's been in previous situations to do a memorandum from staff. So that was what we did in this case, was a memorandum from staff. And then we do have the correspondence as well that wasn't on the agenda. We do look at MVIPA as well and maintaining protection of privacy and information. So that was why this decision was made in this case.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but we always thank our volunteers, and that would be going out on behalf, and I want to do it here because I've been just a very excellent volunteer for many years. So on the motion to downsize the committee so that they can hold quorum, I think, did I have a mover and a seconder? I believe I did. So all in favor? Looking at my clerk, do you have the mover and seconder?
The chair, yes, we do.
Okay, all in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Motions, postponed motions, I have none. No planning motions, no deputation motions, no notices of motion. Motions to which notice has been previously given, none, and no inquiry motions that I've been made aware of, just the bylaws now.
Through the chair, so there were six bylaws on the agenda. So we have separated these into consolidated votes. We have the first two together as one vote, which is the official plan amendment and the zoning bylaw amendment, and then the remaining four as the next vote. If there is a separate or a bylaw that you would like to pull separately to vote on that, just let us know and we'll make that adjustment. As it stands, I'll read the motion for the first two. We're just putting it on the screen here. And that bills 2026.08 and 2026.09 be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed as bylaws.
Yep, that's the official plan and the LCP quarry. Moved by Counselor Fisher, second by the deputy mayor. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Opposed? There was none. Now we're on to the next one.
Through the chair, we have it on the screen now. That bills 2026.10, 2026.11, 2026.12, and 2026.13 be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed as bylaws.
The last one, of course, is the contract and the tender. Moved by Counselor Goff, second by Counselor Tuyu. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. There's none opposed. Confirmation bylaw.
Through the chair, that bylaw 2026.18 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the council meeting held on the 9th day of March 2026 be considered read a first, second, and third time and finally passed.
Moved by the deputy mayor, second by Counselor Snutch. All in favor? That is carried. And lastly, the adjournment.
Through the chair, that the council meeting of the Township of Ramara held on March 9th, 2026 be adjourned at 2:31 p.m.
Moved by Counselor Goff, second by Counselor Fisher. I'm a little disturbed how quickly that meeting went when I was late. All in favor?